Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me here again on NV Rugby. And round 5, URC, has just been concluded. And oh boy, what a weekend. It's a lot to unpack here for the South African side. Right, so it went down sort of like this. On Friday night, the Bulls squared off against the Glasgow Warriors and took a bit of a knock. Down, being defeated there on the Glasgow Warriors' home side, and not the result they wanted at all. After their victory from the weekend before, I really think they were possibly hoping for a better sort of result than this. But since missing, Jan-Hendrik Wessels has also been taking a bit of a knock there. So I think their morale might have been down quite significantly. Their confidence a bit sort of, knocked or nooked. I don't know how you would describe that, but yeah, I will talk about that in a wee bit as I'm talking about the Bulls game in that section. But then again, the Lions, wow, making a surprise victory against Ulster of all teams. 49-31, I believe it was. And wow, I'll talk about that in a bit. And yeah, it's just completely surprising, blown me over. I think really that a victory against Scarlets gave them the kind of confidence and morale boost that they sorely needed after really making a bad start within the URC and not doing that well within the Currie Cup either. But then again, they have gotten the Springboks back at this point. The Springboks are now going forward, going into this weekend, playing against Japan in the first kickoff round of the autumn series. But luckily, there will not be any URC games played from now to sort of end of the autumn series, late November. So hopefully, Springboks will be right back into their respective club teams as soon as that's done. But yeah, definitely the kind of score that they wanted. I mean, they really smashed the Ulster, which was very surprising, especially over the powerful win that Ulster scored over the Sharks the weekend before. Sharks themselves scoring a brilliant victory over the Scarlets, and I'm hoping the same effect is going to count for them as well. A lot of the Springboks being back in, and Lucanio as well, showing his presence now as well, along with Andre Esterhuizen in the inside and outside centre positions. Eben Etzebeth was there, Bongi Manambe, Oxenchair doing very well for himself in this past game. Wow. Yeah, like I said, a lot to unpack. But I'm hoping that this kind of victory will now really do a world of good for the Sharks as well, giving that much needed kick in the pants and morale boost that they sorely needed. And they would follow suit in the Lions sort of shadow. I wouldn't like to say shadow, but within their footsteps kind of thing, and really start doing well from here on end. Then we've got the Stormers. Stormers really doing very well on a stadium field that they haven't been doing that well in the past. Last year, playing against Benetton and Treviso, losing pretty badly. The year before as well, not doing very well on that field. They really have a bad history. So it's a bit of a breaking of the curse there kind of thing, and also doing very well in getting a bit of a feather in their cap, making a bit of a history there for themselves. So all right, yeah, very, like I said, a lot to get through, so let's get stuck in pretty much. Yeah, Glasgow Warriors against Bulls, 21-12 loss to the Bulls at the Scotstoun Stadium. And this brings an end to the Bulls to this leg of the Bulls European tour. Although there probably will be some, further away games for them down the further line of the URC. I'm not too sure. The venues and teams have not been thus far confirmed for the Bulls going forward from here. I probably would be able to do it, but I'm a bit lazy to go into every single team and then go check out the fixtures coming for the next couple of weeks. I really just go, sort of forward from here. Scrums. Bulls doing extremely well within, their main set pieces with the lineouts and the scrums. Also with the rolling mauls as well, but just couldn't bring the intensity from the previous week back into this one. And as you can remember, the victory the weekend before wasn't really with such a huge margin. I think it was only 2 points. So, if they didn't go out to try and sort of plug the mistakes, especially with the discipline, then I don't know what to say, man. I did speak about the discipline last week, and the discipline have very much kind of failed them this week, coming in with about 5 penalties conceded within the first half already to what I believe to be the Glasgow Warriors' 3 penalties conceded. Sam Talakai and Nathan Macbeth coming in the second half really stamping down their mark on the URC quite hard as well. Gerrit Steenekamp and Johan Grobelaar, especially when they joined the forward pack, that really kind of helped achieving a bit of about an 88% success rate for them in this game, with their scrums and the rolling mauls and all of that. The Glasgow lineouts, very, very impressive, with a 93% success rate. Johnny Matthews delivering point accuracy with his kicking as well, and especially under pressure. The Bulls struggled really to kind of at times disrupt the Glasgow Warriors' play, which also didn't help with trying to wrestle dominance and pressure back from the Glasgow Warriors. So very much doing very well for the Warriors to maintain the kind of pressure from sort of late game onwards, which is basically what sealed the deal for the Bulls. I said I was going to talk about Jan-Hendrik Wessels. A bit of an update there. He's now been suspended for 9 weeks. And I don't think disappointment in the URC governing body begins to describe what I'm feeling. What a lot of people are feeling, really. I think I can describe it in 2 words. Bullshit. Really disappointed in the governing body. Honestly, with the council or whatever, disciplinary council or whatever they like to call themselves. Because this is now a decision and a judgment that they've come to with absolutely zero evidence. Zilch, nothing. And I would be the first to say, I think it was Tim from Egg Chasers that also said that, this is the kind of I wouldn't say creme de la creme, but the most heinous of infringements anyone could commit within a game of rugby. A dude's junk, his private parts, are off limits in any way. You don't punch there, you don't kick there, you don't knee there, you don't grab there at all. And this is serious. Bringing the name of the game and the spirit of the game into disrepute. And if Jan-Hendrik Wessels was in fact guilty of this, and there was conclusive visual evidence to demonstrate that he is guilty, almost into forcing him into admitting it, because he could easily just deny it, which he has denied it in no uncertain terms, but there is zero evidence to back it up. And if there was, I would be the first to say, a lot of people have been saying, Brayton Paulson, I think it was, give him 8 weeks, give him 10 weeks, hell, let him miss the rest of the year. I would go as far as to say, end his career. Ban him for life. Don't let him play another single game of rugby, ever. Because this is the kind of really, conduct unbecoming that is really frowned on in any part of the game, or in any sort of hall of any club, of any union of rugby. You don't do this. But then again, like I said, Jan-Hendrik Wessels has denied it categorically. Now, I'm not going to call Josh Matthews a liar, but there is no evidence to back it up with. So at this point, it's coming down to a he said, she said type of hearsay scenario, and you cannot render such a judgment on that grounds. I mean, it's unheard of. It's literally, I don't know how anybody can sort of justify that sort of. I just feel it's a complete miscarriage of justice. Honestly, for 9 weeks, he's going to miss probably the rest of the year of his club and Springbok rugby. And I think the Bulls felt it this weekend. Although they have got quite a bit of talent in them as well, I think their morale. Sorry, Josh Murphy, not Matthews. I'm thinking of Johnny Matthews within the past weekend's game against the Bulls. But it's how can I put it? It's not conducive for a very high morale rating among the players. It doesn't help boosting their confidence. I'm pretty sure they also feel that there is some kind of vendetta going on within World Rugby and within the URC governing body against South African teams, which kind of probably knocked the Bulls for a 6 as well. Although they played hard, they tried their best, especially with Willie Leroux. Also, Stravino Jacobs delivering world-class games. Stravino Jacobs scoring an early try with an electric pace. Willie Leroux provided experience and just as a fullback I think he scored his own try as well for the Bulls in the second half. So there was a lot of struggle, a lot of really blood, sweat and tears as they tried to fight back to keep themselves viable and as a force to try and wrestle that dominance back from the Glasgow Warriors this weekend as well. But it just didn't go down very well. Jean-Andre Rudolph as well at number 8 did his best, showing that he's quite the revelation for the season. Mornay Smith delivering a colossal performance with 24 tackles under his belt as well, which is basically the highest in the match. I think it was Jack Dempsey that only performed about 11 tackles, even though he came back from an injury. Really happy to see him back on the field, by the way. And he just didn't lose any kind of steam. It looked like that injury really didn't do much to kind of hamper his enthusiasm and his his energetic performance. Like I said, with 11 tackles made. Man of the match, Sione Tuipulotu, really an asset for the Glasgow Warriors. I think he joined them due to the fact that his mother is from Scotland, especially from Glasgow as well. He used to previously play for Australia, the Australian national team. I think his dad is a Maori, or not Maori, an Aborigine, which honestly, I think so. I stand corrected on that. If anybody knows his sort of parental lineage, maybe you can educate us all in the comments field below. I'm not quite clued up on his history as much as I'd like to be. But yeah, maybe one day I'd get some time to read up about him, because he's really an exceptional player, and I absolutely love his performance. Kubus Visandrueno Kia worked tirelessly as well, but couldn't maintain the early dominance that they showed within the game, which also all of that kind of piling on top of each other just made for an all-round kind of disappointing performance of the Blue Bulls. David Creel couldn't create enough opportunities within the midfield. Keegan Johannes also, he did slot I think the majority of his kicks, but also early on in the game missed quite a few crucial goal kicks, which really could have helped the Bulls when he needed the most. The potential Bulls try that was also disallowed within the 55th minute didn't help due to a knock-on. I think it was there was an earlier knock-on due to phase play, and then Francois Klopper receiving a yellow card from collapsing the maul that resulted also in a penalty try, so that didn't help either. Even though Nathan Macbeth went off in the 52nd minute as well with a yellow card for his team, it didn't. I would think that was due to a deliberate knock-on. That didn't help to kind of, the Bulls couldn't capitalize on that opportunity playing against 14 men. It's like Glasgow just closed ranks and said, no, okay, that's it. We're now focusing solely on defense. You guys are not getting through, and they did that quite masterfully. Well done to the Scots there. The coach reaction, what can I say? Franco Smith, he was measured, and within the interview he said that I thought the Bulls tonight were very physical. They defended well, they deprived us. We had a lot of questions and they had a lot of answers, especially in the first half, but our tenacity to stay in the fight, wait for the changes and to stick to the strategy of the game was very good. The way the progress worked was heartwarming. Smith also went ahead to say that Jamie Barty and Murphy Walker were both coming back from injury. I decided to start them so that they were well focused and well prepared for during the week. And so that, what can I say? I mean, he's got a lot to smile about. I think they all do have a lot to smile about going forward from here. But I don't think the Bulls is out of the run just yet. This is a setback. They're going to have to pick themselves up, dust themselves off, and just work a little harder. Look forward. Focus on that. Try to get that morale up. It isn't going to be easy. They're still struggling with a lot of players that's still off with injuries, and that they've, the absence of young vessels is definitely felt within the team, I do believe. So they're really just going to have to work a lot more harder to kind of go through and do something about it. Okay, coming now to the Lions match against Ulster. Wow. The Lions delivered one of the performances of the round, I think, handing Ulster their arses with a 49-31 victory in this season. And I think this is probably one of the most humiliating defeats that Ulster has now suffered in this season. With a 12 try thrilling victory in Ellis Park. This was just amazing. It was a game out of the top shelves. Absolute pleasure to watch. I think I watched the game about twice. Playing and schooling in the early afternoon conditions was, at altitude was also not very, conducive of a comfortable play for Ulster. They really suffered with, especially with the hectic humidity that they, of during the day. I think they broke quite a lot for water breaks. And Coach Ivan van Rooyen described the victory as extremely rewarding. So definitely feather in the cap of the Bulls, or the Lions, excuse me. And I really think that probably the victory over the Scarlets was the kind of oomph and boost that they needed to their confidence and to their morale to kind of see it through and hopefully make a bit of a strong comeback at this stage of the URC. Like I said, especially that they started off the first couple of rounds with really, really tough challenges and not, some serious losses and disappointing losses on their side. The scrums and set pieces for the Lions was absolutely outstanding. SJ Kotsa and Lapakanye really worked hard. And I'm hoping Lapakanye is now completely over his sort of doping scandal thing that he had earlier this year. Well, it was for a non-performance enhancing drug, so I don't think that they could be that hard on him. It was basically for a drug that, like I said before, for a drug that could mask performance enhancers, but that is no evidence that he's on any performance enhancers at all. So yeah, I don't think they really have a leg to stand on at this stage. Probably just gave him a bit of a slap on the wrist and let him go. He's playing. So if it was really as serious as they thought, they probably would have kind of banned him for a couple of games, or at least until the conclusion of the inquiry. So the Lions' scrum dominance gave the field possession to them right from the start, getting some serious penalties there, and then putting the Ulster on the back foot constantly. Reinhard Notnagel marshaled the lineouts pretty well, winning his own ball. With disrupting the Ulster's throw as well. He was sort of a menace in the Ulster lineouts, really doing very well for himself. His 11 tackles and the leadership that he showed was just absolutely, it looked like the Lions was coming back to becoming a well-oiled machine. And it was just a pleasure. It was a pleasure to watch them finally finding massive cohesion and then pushing forward to maintaining dominance throughout the entire game. Line-out efficiency, like I said, absolutely out of the top shelves. SJ Kotsa himself, again, like I mentioned before, was absolutely immense. And then, scoring early within the game with the crucial carries made and winning the physical battle for his team as well. Reinhard Notnagel providing structure and composure. Like I also said, with these 11 tackles, really doing well on the defensive side. Frankie Horn also and company. The backline attacks was extremely powerful. Loved it, absolutely loved it. The backline attacks was crucial. It was technical. It was surgical. It was just absolutely wonderful to watch, and they could maintain that pressure for the whole duration of the 18 minutes. David McCann scored and tried for his team as well, provided the physicality in the midfield battles as well. But the Irish pack visibly wilted, I think, under that Johannesburg sun and oppressive heat. Really, at altitude, that could become quite hectic. Rub Herring as well, leading from the front within the set pieces, struggled quite hectically under the Lions scrum set pieces. Couldn't maintain dominance there, and just absolutely took over. Chris Smith doing fantastically well for himself for the Lions as well, scoring 14 points as a whole to the match. I think that was probably the highest score for a single player within the match. Edwin Cater performing absolutely well. I think it was one point where he just sort of dove over the defenders to get his try. Ruan Venter, Renzo Duplessis, Henko van Wyk, also Conrad van Vieren scoring 2 tries himself, which was brilliant, all across the line. And then Kewan Horn at fullback provided exceptional positioning for the Lions. Wow, it's like he just found those open spaces all over, and it was just absolutely wonderful, like I said, to watch these guys perform so wonderfully brilliant. And yeah, akin to probably the Stormers opening round performance that we saw against Leinster. This is probably one of those, just sort of akin to that. It was just brilliant to watch. Robert Bellacoon, though, I have to mention this kid because for Ulster, making a staggering 109 meters with 10 carries, scoring 2 tries himself. I think it was a hat-trick that he actually scored. playing fantastically well. He making those line breaks, the ball handling within Ulster and the Ulster's back line was just fantastic to watch. It was just a dream. I mean, these guys, Ulster, honestly, it was so wonderful to watch you guys. I'm a huge fan of your your attacking rugby, especially as an Irish team. I think you guys have quite a dominant few players within the national team, and I think really if your national team can perform like that, it's just absolutely wonderful. But I think, like I said, it was a bit of it's disappointing. I do feel that you couldn't carry the pressure through the whole the whole game, but you fought for 80 minutes really hard. Michael Lowry at fullback was also extremely creative, making about 86 meters himself. Really, I mean, that is that kind of sort of the quality of a forward player. Really doing well. James Hume also scored, but the backline couldn't sustain for the intensity of the game for the first half. So you guys, well played, amazing performance as well. So definitely the discipline was lacking, especially within the first half. You guys did wrestle it back and kept very good composure within the second half, but the first half, the penalties kind of ran away from you guys. But it's understandable once the pressure is mounting, especially when you're constantly on your back foot. The side entries happen, the collapsing of mauls happen, the high tackles, when you're desperate and you're mounting desperate defenses, trying so hard to fight back to get some attack movements and dominance back into the game. The mistakes do happen. It's not always on purpose, but yeah, you guys performed absolutely admirable. Well done to you. Coach Van Rooyen was visibly proud of the guys, and understandably so. If I was the coach, I'd be proud, saying that the guys played really well today. There was a lot of effort, as though it was for them at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It was tough for us, but I think as the game progressed, we got more efficient and our error rate went down. He also said that we challenged the guys this week and they responded. We knew we had to lift our game because Ulster had beaten two good South African teams in the Bulls and the Sharks, home and away. Regarding the halftime adjustments, he basically said that we should have been ahead at the game. We had some really good pictures in the first half. At halftime, we were quite technical in our talk. We were creating the right pictures. We just needed one or two changes. We knew we could put them under pressure, and we were a little more accurate. So, yeah, definitely can pat himself on the back. They did absolutely exceptionally well in that game. So now coming to the Sharks, 29-19 victory over the Scarlets. And again, this is the Scarlets. It was a very Springbok heavy team for the Sharks as well. And John Plumtree, Springbok played inside, secured 4 tries and a bonus point to move up to the 12th spot in the URC log. So they are slowly but surely they are crawling back up. This bonus point will really go far for them, and I think if they, like the Lions, could again just harness this victory. I wouldn't say dine out on it, but really do let it kind of boost your confidence, boost your spirits, boost your morale as well, because those are quite crucial to get your mindset in the right place, especially after you've really been suffering a bit, during the early stages of the URC. To get such a massive victory for you guys, it's a full 10-point margin victory. Let it sort of boost your confidence and do get yourself in a good headspace over there. The loose head prop, Oxenche, Man of the match for this game. Very well done. I mean, his set play in the scrum was absolutely dominant. That's all I can say. I think that's the best word I can use for it. It was just absolutely magnificent. Just, yeah, dominating proceedings from the word go. I mean, I think he played the full 80-minute game, as far as I can remember, doing exceptionally well for himself. The Sharks gaining increasing ascendancy as the match progressed, with Bongi Bonambi and initially Vincent Koch as well. That was later replaced by Lee Marvin Mazibuko, providing a rock solid forward structure that honestly closed ranks and solidified their defensive teams, as well as delivering a massive scrum performance that got them the crucial penalties that they need to get some really crucial positional advantage and field advantage. That is always a good thing in a game. I mean, the more advantage you get, the more you're keeping the team on the backside. If they cannot progress out of their half, they cannot score, which is something that we really, unless they can make a penalty goal kick from their goal line or from their 22, which has been done before, but it's really few and far between. I think Frans Steyn was but the last one that could actually make that kind of kick, and I think he was still in high school when that happened, making an 80 to 82 meter kick, which was massive. I mean, I think he still holds the record for the longest goal kick. Yeah, so the Sharks line-out as well functioned adequately, with Marvin Ori and Ibn Etzebeth really dominating the performance within the line-outs, winning crucial set plays there, and then bulldozing over the try line to get them quite a nice score there as well. Forward pack performance, like I said, Sia Kulisi, Emmanuel Tichuka, Vincent Tichuka, Ibn Etzebeth, really powerful drives and powerful performance by them. It was just evident. To the Scarlets, also, Tani Plumtree worked hard at number 8. You could really see his effort, sweating as well as he trying to put up a valiant performance and a valiant fight back before he actually was just, went down with a yellow card in the late game, which didn't help, honestly. It's just, I think that kind of was the last nail in the Scarlets' coffin for this game, and that was just it. The scrum struggled badly from then on, but they showed heart. To these Welshmen, I really have to take my hat off to you. You guys, especially, you haven't been doing well in this URC, so your morale is literally down there. I understand it. I know what it feels like. To get to a game where you're struggling, especially if you've had a few games like this, where you're struggling to establish dominance and maintain it, or try and fight back into a dominant position, and it's just not happening. Magnus van der Merwe, South African player for Scarlets, Blair Murray and Tom Rogers all scored tries. Sam Costello kicked absolutely wonderful for his team, slotting 2 conversions, and showed real good composure as well. But the defensive lapse just wasn't there. And of course, with a massive pressure by the opposing team also comes a real bad lack of discipline. Like I said already, Plumtree that suffered his yellow card, kind of sealing the loss for the Scarlets within the 73rd minute. I think that was kind of just the last nail in the carpet, and all hopes just faded. You could literally see the confidence, the morale just plummeting, I think, further than the ground. Not even the ground could stop it. Real hard luck, guys. Honestly, Real hard luck. The Stormers against Benetton on a field, Treviso, that they've never won before. I don't know if I should say never, but in recent memory. Especially last year, did extremely badly against Benetton on that exact same field. They were trailing 16-8 at halftime, and at that point, you're kind of feeling, oh God, please don't let it be another repeat of last year's game against Benetton. We just felt like it's just sure it's not a massive margin, kind of, but it's going to still be a massive margin, hectic margin that they need to claw back. They need to fight back in the second half. So they are starting the second half from a deficit. But they did absolutely wonderful. Like I said, 31-16 victory to the Stormers, still continuing their undefeated streak. 5 out of 5 for the URC, and I just couldn't be happier. I just couldn't be happier. These guys are showing some real heart, some real grit, some real strength, and I think they really have their eye on that trophy for the end of URC season this year. And they could do it. They could really do it. Especially with the Ulster's knock that they suffered against the Lions. Maybe. Who knows? It could be within their grasp. 23 unanswered points within the second half scored by the Stormers. And Benetton showing some real heart in their fight back. I think it was a bit of a tit for tat at some point, because they, Benetton, within the first half, Benetton really showed some massive heart, some massive strength, and caught the early dominance quite hectically. Although we did score, I think a try and then a penalty goal. We didn't convert the try, but a penalty goal within the first half, just to keep us, still relevant within the game. But the nearing the 40th minute, the kind of concerns started piling up. Thinking, was this the first, finally the game where Stormers are beaten for the first time within the URC? Luckily, that wasn't it. I couldn't be happier. Ruan Nel also operated quite effectively. JD Schickeling, massive performance by him and Salman Murad, especially within the line-outs, set pieces. The driving mauls was surgical. Massive strength, massive domination. Wow. Ivan Ruiz, this kid, he just, but also to a lot of the other players. Sandi scored early try as well with a powerful drive for himself. His second career try within the URC, I think. I believe Ivan Ruiz, like I said, carried absolutely immensely throughout the entire game. Ben Jason Dixon put up a tireless effort within the midfield, and especially for the forwards as well. Zachary Portham, and wow, facing Japan this coming weekend, his first time debuting in a green and gold jersey. Well done to him. Well done to you, Zachary. Absolutely fantastic. And just it was amazing. I don't think I can say anything more than that. I think I've got some really high hopes for him. Really doing well. Ruan Ackerman crashing over for his clinical try as well, and just absolutely fantastic within the 80th minute. I do have some concerns though with Siabele Sonatla going off quite early within the first half with, again, the injured knee, possibly due to him coming back too soon. And then of course we have JJ Kotsa, that went off looking completely dazed. It's just within the one of the rucks, he just took a complete knock for 6. I think the guys knocked him straight into the halfway through next month. He looked visibly dazed as he was led off the field by the EMTs. Not being able to maintain his balance, had to kind of rest himself on the EMT as he walked off. His arm lying completely, hanging completely limped by his side. And I really have to congratulate or thank the Benetton side for showing some real good sportsmanship, coming over to JJ Courtser as he's being let off. Sort of shaking his hand, wishing him well, wishing him a speedy recovery, and I really hope that as well for myself. Michel Lamaro led very well for his pack, dominated within the first half, like I said, but they couldn't maintain that dominance with going through to the second half as well. And I just don't know what job John Dobson does in second half. I think he's really, he's got the pep talk down as like a fine art. I don't know what it is. Especially within this URC, whenever the Stormers seems like they're trailing far behind, they fight back hard in the second half. And I just don't know if it is John Dobson's sort of pep talks within the second half or half time that gives him that oomph to really fight back. Jacob Umaga also controlled the first half pretty well for Benetton. But again, as soon as the dominance and pressure started mounting against them within the second half, the penalties also started flying. So really bad discipline among the Benetton players there, but also completely forced, in desperate defensive lines. They just couldn't maintain they couldn't, just completely buckled under the pressure. Missing really relatively easy attempts at tackles. Louis Lianga also scored a brilliant try for his team with superb ball handling. And Tommaso Manoncello, I'm hoping I'm saying that right, because it was dangerous in the midfield. But again, quality ball and quality defense just wasn't there for Benetton. But man of the match, Yuri Mattia, well deserved, scoring 21 points for his team in the game. Fantastic penalty goals, slotting several penalty goals, several conversions, also scoring, converting his own try within the second half, right underneath the poles. Came from sharp recognition of space, and then also Zachary Porthen with his turnover, basically feeding the ball through to Yuri Mattia, and then that just really being some absolutely fantastic strong play within that game, and the accuracy of all team members involved, just really ticking down and showing their evidence on the scoreboard was absolutely fantastic. Coach John Dobson, remarkably and of course very happy, very pleased with the character shown of his teammates. Stormers achieved their first ever win in Treviso, feather in their cap there, making history as well, and then also breaking the Benetton's year-long dominant streak on that field as well. Completing a perfect tour overseas for themselves. I think from now on they're going to be coming back into playing on their home field as well, so they definitely home field advantage is going to count in their favor, with massive wins over the Scarlets, 34-0, Zebra 31-13, and now Benetton 31-16, and also on Leinster, winning them, I think it was 35-0. Massive game, and the defensive performance as well. But the Stormers, I think they've literally got it down as well to a fine art. It's like they just are conceding literally only about, what was it, 5 tries this season. I think that's basically 1 try per game. Obviously Scarlets and Leinster not scoring a single try against them, and then Zebra scoring a few tries, I think 2 tries, No, there was one try, a couple. I think they dominated their scoreboard more on penalty goal conversions, and then one try, and then Benetton scoring a few tries there as well. I think scoring 2 tries there, so it's only about about 3 or 4 tries that they conceded within this URC challenge, and it was just also fantastic performance by those guys. So overall takeaways from this game: Bulls not giving the best performance that they could have. They started pretty strong within this URC season and then kind of trickled down now. I think also the absence of Jan-Hendrik Wessels and the kind of the knock that they received, on the confidence side and morale side from that event was also quite evident. Lions, absolute amazing performance. Well done to them. Very strong performance, amazing, especially after starting the season pretty badly. They did win, I think, the weekend before, and then coming back now in. I was a bit concerned because the weekend before it was the Scarlets, and Scarlets is at the bottom of the log, so you kind of expect it. But now for the Bulls for the Lions to make such a huge, crushing victory over Ulster, I think this is really going to boost their confidence going forward in the URC, and I'm really holding thumbs for them on that one as well. Sharks, good performance. Overall good performance, massive set plays, amazing dominance show to them by them, and then also very strong in the defensive lines, but this is the Scarlets. They suffered losses at the likes of Glasgow Warriors, of Ulster, Munster, and these guys, going forward, really going to need to work on your cohesive plays, your teamwork, your discipline as well. Very important, because like I said, the team that stays on the right side of the referee are usually the team that dominates and usually the team that will go on winning the game. So yeah, definitely well done to all teams alike, and especially the Stormers for another massive win there. Well done. Very pleased with you guys. And like I said, now URC games are going to basically end. I will be giving a bit more of an update on the fixtures coming closer to the time, but right now the Springboks are going to be facing Japan in Japan this coming weekend for the opening rounds of the autumn series, and then after that it's going to be France. Massive challenge on that side as well, and I really hope they're up to the challenge. I'm not too sure if Antoine Dupont is going to be with his team, because he has a way of rallying the players and really do very well, for themselves as well. Excuse me. But honestly, the Springboks are in top form. I will kind of release the lineup for that game a bit later in this week. So yeah, thank you very much for joining me, guys. This is it for me. But please, thank you for watching, and give me a like and subscribe if you haven't done so. Like on the click the thumbs up button at the bottom of the video, hit it, smash it, do whatever you want with it. Hit the subscribe button and also the little bell to get updates for more and new videos popping up every time. Please take care of yourselves and join me next week as well when I analyze the Springboks game against Japan. And yeah, like I said, take care of yourselves and your loved ones. That's it from me. I'm signing off. Peace out.
Uses a extra man, but it all starts up front. Need a right shoulder from Klabakanye. And a penalty advantage at scrum time. Horn goes with the wheel. Clever play from the 8th man. Steyn. Carry now from Marie. Chris Smith. Long pass out wide to Q on Horn. Q on Horn. Kenta goes over.